Well, if you've been following the news from Trump world, shall we say, with any recent followings, of course, you know that Trump lost a lot of friends recently with his launch of his own NFT card collection. Needless to say, there were a lot of people that it did not go down well with. There were a lot of very angry comments against Donald Trump. Of course, his cards did sell out in 24 hours, I think it was. So there will always be a very committed Trump following, just like in the UK, where we have a very bizarre but still the same committed following of people who follow Boris Johnson and would love him to be prime minister again. Such is the nature of these types of political leaders. Like I say, there's one in every country. I guarantee you. People can indeed name them. But the fact that we have now had the January the 6th committee panel wrap up with its ultimate final proceeding that there should be criminal charges brought against Donald Trump, this makes things even more interesting. Because if you're a Republican and you desperately, desperately want DeSantis to be the next presidential pick for the next, US election, backing this move could certainly be potentially one way to remove Trump from the running. But of course, as we've said before, there's still those Trump loyalists. And the question is how many of those Trump loyalists are, well, truly loyal to Trump? And might you get punished or deselected or, however the sort of the process works in America at the next general election? It's possible. There's a lot of, I guarantee you, there are a lot of Republicans weighing up this option. But we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But anyway, before we do go diving into this, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And of course, thank you very much to all those people who do help and support the channel that way. And off we go to cover this. This is in The Guardian with the title of the House January the 6th panel recommends criminal charges against Donald Trump. The January 6th committee has referred Donald Trump to the Justice Department to face criminal charges and has accused the former president of fomenting an insurrection and conspiring against the government over his attempt to subvert the outcome of the 2020 election and the bloody attack on the US Capitol. The committee's referrals are approved by its members on Monday, are the first time in American history that Congress has recommended that charges against a former president. And of course, they come 18 months after the investigation by the bipartisan House of Representatives panel tasked with understanding Trump's plot to stop Joe Biden from taking office. The committee believes that there is more than sufficient evidence that exists for a criminal referral from former President Trump for assisting or aiding and even conflating those at the Capitol who engaged in violence on the United States. Congressman Jackie Rince, pardon me, said as the lawmakers held their final public meeting. The committee has developed a very significant evidence that President Trump intended to disrupt the peaceful transition of power under our Constitution, and that the president has any affirmative and primary constitutional duty to act to take care of these laws to be faithfully executed. Nothing could be greater than betrayal of his duty than to assist in the insurrection against the constitutional order. So, some very, very strong words by the House. By the committee into this, which I think is what a lot of people were certainly looking for. It's certainly what a lot of the Democrats are certainly hoping it would turn out this way. And I guarantee you there are a lot of Republicans secretly, when they heard this, under the table going, while the faces were like, oh no, oh no. Because we've been saying this for a while. In America, the Republican Party is about to go to war because soon there is going to be the selection process as to who becomes the next presidential candidate for the Republicans. And certainly the Republican establishment has had it with Trump. They really didn't want him to begin with, but they got him, and they did what they could with him. But afterwards, there was no really sort of controlling Trump from there. But they've seen now their guy, Ron DeSantis, the current governor of Florida, and they see a guy who is not only everything Trump was, but Trump could have been as well. And they see massive opportunities. This is why a lot of people, especially when you look at the American left, and I do fully agree, I've seen the videos of people on the American left saying, look, Donald Trump was bad, but if Ron DeSantis ever got in, he would be 10 times worse, because he is a guy who has certainly the sort of the ideas of Trump, but actually has the capability to actually pull some of this stuff off. That is the deadly part. And ultimately, we have to see whether these criminal charges actually come to fruition. Depends, I think, entirely on how the Republicans really want to go with this. Do they want to go through with this? But if they do go through this, that means they can permanently get rid of Trump. Sure, he'll still be there, but that means he's been dealt with once and for all. He cannot do anything else to the party. They could legitimately throw him out of the party and stop him ever again representing any form of Republican brand. They could make him just completely, persona non grata. Now, yes, he would still obviously have his followers and etc. I think he would still be somewhat of a ish political force, but then again, at the recent elections, all of Trump's picks lost big time. So maybe his political capital, and it's certainly the force that is Donald Trump, he really is already spent on this. But as always, we're going to have to wait and see what the Republicans do. It would be very interesting to see what the Department of Justice does going forward from this. But needs to say, this certainly does cap off a very, very bad year for Donald Trump. A very bad year indeed. But as always, guys, like I say, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a notification link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. And of course, we'll see you all next time.